So I also use poles, so I'm not normally a pole user,
Yep.
but I thought I'd take them, make sure you get the snow baskets on the bottom as big as possible, and those were absolutely a godsend. They were absolutely essential equipment in my opinion, just because it was for us a major march rather than a run. You were just running where you could.
Yeah. Gloves then. So you got these. Did you have a second pair?
So I actually took 3 pairs of gloves. I took a light under glove.
Yep.
I took a fleecy glove that you actually recommended from your Kilimanjaro.
The Montane,
so a bit fleecy. And then I had a really big glove to go over the top.
Yep.
A really big glove I just didn't use. We were like minus 12, I think was our warmest day.
We got to minus 16, minus 18, but even then the sun was out, so it was okay.
It's not too bad. So I did get cold hands occasionally, just with the 2 layers on. But you need to be able to get them off quickly if you need to get to snacks and things, fill your water bottles up. I have to say, minus 12, when you're going at it as hard as you can, you're not really getting cold. You just need to be a bit careful with your sweat. And when you stop, it's the big thing.
Yeah, definitely, The Montane Prisms were those gloves.
That's right.
Okay. So then we had Buff.
Yeah, Buff, I'd never go in a race without Buff. All you need to do, with your head, you don't need to keep it warm, but you do need to keep your ears close to your head. Yeah. So I just use it as a band, looked really, really trendy. And just kept my ears close to the head.
Beard,
and the beard,
yeah. So they're the merino wool, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Nice thick sock, and just make sure you get the shoe and practice running in them to make sure that your feet don't give you any problems.
Can't see the runners with merino wool as well because they don't smell as much.
So I took 3 layers. So the OMS I didn't wear at all. I was just worried in case I needed something waterproof. I took a windproof layer, and I also did quite a bit of research and went for these Solomon. I thought that the cross-country skiers would have learned a lot about sweating and clothing, so I actually went to Solomon and bought their cross-country skiing gear, which was brilliant. It was light, it was windproof, easy to slip on and off, and I just found it worked really, really well.
Okay.
Hood, I think the hood's handy when you go over the lakes, when you go into the woods, it changes and you need to be able to strip down layers, but if you can drop a hood down, put a hood up, you're not fiddling around.
There can be a big temperature shift quite quickly when you hit a lake, or especially on the first stage when you start going up onto the rifts. There's a huge temperature shift over the course of an hour, that would be handy. And then trousers.
Yeah, fleece trousers. So layers is the rule. Sort of, I thought up to 4 layers for the top, up to 3 layers for the bottoms. And you've got to be able to put them on and off quickly because the temperatures do flex and it does change the game. You don't want to get in too hot.
Hat? I didn't see you wear that. Did you
wear that? I didn't end up wearing a hat. It was really cold, but I think if the temperature had gone down, it had got windy, then you would definitely need a hat. Face mask, never wore that either, but again, if it got really windy, you'd need to. I wore glasses the whole time, when your eyes water in the wind and it's very cold, it just helped stop that a little bit. And I also took some little lightweight goggles, which I never took out the bag.
Yeah. Okay, and then...
so those are just my layers. So I used a windproof layer, thin at the front. So these guys, this was my favourite top. This is really warm. It's an odd low top with a built-in hood. It was thermal underwear, and I wore that really most of the time on the Solomon layer. Or that layer, so I might wear that before I start it because it's freezing when you wait at the start line in the morning. And then strip that off really quickly once I got warm.
Cool. And then final couple of things here.
So for camp wear, so you're allowed a camp bag, 10
kilo camp bag.
So make sure you take something really comfortable because you want to strip off your wet gear when you get in because you sweated a lot. Strip that off as quickly as you can. Try and find somewhere to dry that as early as you can. Because that's a bit important thing. You don't want to be putting wet gear on next morning. And take some really nice, comfortable, light, warm stuff. So I use these Yeti down stuff, really expensive, absolutely amazing. But it was so comfortable in the evenings that it was great.
The thing with the Yeti stuff is that it really is good bang for buck when it comes to down. And because we have a close relationship with Yeti, if you look at them and you want to, if you're interested in the product, just get in touch because we have a decent working relationship with the guys over at Yeti. The Yeti products are awesome. They saved all of our staff was in Yeti gear, and no one was cold.
No,
at any
it really
point.
was good. And fleece trousers I had in my overnight bag as well,
Yeah.
just to make sure that I was really warm.
And then sleeping bag.
So I didn't bring that, but I used a big Yeti sleeping bag, again very, very light, because actually when I bought it I thought we had to carry it, but as it turns out it's really just so lovely and comfortable anyway. So.
And because that says your night bag, you don't have to really worry about the kind of size of it too much. We got a taste of how cold it can be at night in a teepee on the final night.
Yeah, really cold.
What we're playing with at the idea at the minute is for the next ice, a couple of the stages where we stayed in this year's race, they're going to be in teepees again, so there will be some colder nights, definitely. So yeah, really get a nice big warm.
So a couple of nights at least we were sleeping on the snow with a reindeer skin.
Yeah.
So you do need to be warm at night. You've got to sleep well, and that was really important to be comfortable. Yeah.
Okay. Any last tips? Anything that you can think?
No, I think the same as always. You've got to remember hydration. Make sure you up your calorie intake. You know, I'm 82 kilos and I was working hard the whole time. Marathon day, for example, I'm a 3-hour marathon runner on the road. It was taking me 9 hours on marathon day. So, you know, it really is a hard slog and you are working hard.
Yeah, so if you're skimping weight on anything, then, you know, clothing and food are the areas that you probably don't want to kind of cut out. You can't really, especially if it gets colder than what it did in the last year's race, and especially if the terrain or the conditions get even worse than what they were, then you're going to be talking right up to 15, 16 hour days some of the guys are doing by just yomping, so make sure you've got enough food. Okay, thanks Austin. Hope that helps guys, and we'll be doing a desert one very soon.